What's up, America? It's your girl bringing you some news you can use. We are live at the number one internet radio station, IntellectualRadio.com, which is an iHeart radio station. And guess what? You can follow us on Facebook Live, Instagram, LinkedIn, and you can download the iHeart app and you can watch us locally, nationally, and internationally. So get tuned in to intellectualradio.com. Today we have an amazing guest, and I can't wait for him to share his story. And I know that it would enlighten and uplift and pour into us so we can all learn from each and every one of us. And you know, my goal is to share 1,000 stories on my platform before the end of 2019. So my goal is to inform, educate, entertain, and inspire. So today we have a gentleman, and he works at Roosevelt University. He also has another entrepreneur spirit, and he's going to tell you about that, what he does. I can't wait to get in front of him so that I can use his expertise. I was looking at some of the amazing things that he done, and he did, and I didn't know that. So you learn something about someone every day, right? So this is Take Charge Thursday. Thursday starts. And so in this intellect hour, we're going to be sharing information, providing introspection, and giving inspiration. We're going to get up and close and personal with Mr. Billy Montgomery, and I'm going to let him introduce himself when he embraces our platform. We're going to also talk about how to stop wasting time and make 2019 the best year ever, starting with second quarter. I also got my phone out. You know, I called summer and asked them, you know, are they coming? Are we going to have summer in 2019, or are we just going to go right into fall? Right. I had to turn my heat on.
Did she send you the voicemail?
She said she'll let me know.
Oh.
She didn't. So, you know, I don't know. She didn't respond. So let's hope that she get the message or get the memo or the text message and give us some, you know, some 80, 90 degree weather. And I know some of y'all probably going to complain when we get to 80, 90 degree weather, but I want to wear my summer stuff. I want my sundresses. I want to wear that. I want to wear some shorts.
Maybe if we pull out our flip-flops, maybe she'll.
Well, I've been wearing flip-flops all week until today. Until today. If the weather changed just like that. You know, and then we're going to also talk about the new law. I'm going to let Alicia talk about the new law that's going to be embracing us with our cell phones July 1st. And she'll give you the number to call in if you have some, you know, you have some comments about this new law. And what it's going to do for us. So I'm going to let her talk about that. And then we're going to talk about the one thing. Did I bring? Yep, the one thing. I got my book, Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results, the author, Gary Keller, with the Kellar. So if you have not purchased this book, get it audio, go to the library, get this book. This book is thebomb.com. So please, we have to talk about this book. I'm going to be sharing some different things from it on social media. Today's intro is sponsored by no other than Christine. Their mission is to make the most awesome donuts on the planet every single day. They have 3 locations, and they have free donuts tomorrow. They have 2 new donuts out, and you can try them tomorrow, and they are free. You know, we like the word free, so they are free, but only the new donuts, not the old donuts, so don't get it twisted. So they have 3 locations, one hopefully near you, Homewood, 17815 South Halsted in Homewood, Illinois, 9150 Southwestern in Evergreen Park, and their most newest, I can get in tacton today, their most new location is in Hillside, 110 South Manheim Road in Hillside, Illinois. Remember my quote yesterday, I'm going to read it again. If you want to move to a new level in life, you must break through the comfort zone and practice doing things that are not comfortable. And so if you're doing the same thing over and over again and you're getting the same results, what's that called, Alicia?
Insanity.
So we don't want to do that. We want to change our habits. And if you're with someone that don't want you to grow or mature, then that's not your person. Because each and every one of us should be growing and maturing on a weekly, daily. Some of us take a little longer, but the point is that we need to get there. So nobody should criticize you or say you acting funny or you think you all that because you are growing, because you're maturing. Everybody should mature at some point in their life. And the things that you put up with at 15, you're not going to put up with at 20. The things you put up with 20, you're not going to put up with at 25. The things you put up with 25, you're not going to put up with 30. And it just keeps going. So as you get older, certain things, you'll be like, I'm not going to be, but I done told you, I'm not going to put up with that. So people will treat you according to how you Let them know how you want to be treated, right? And sometimes that's easy said and done, but we have to set our standards for how we want to be treated. I just felt I should put that out there because a lot of people are dealing with that right now. They're maturing and people think that they're acting funny or they're funny, think they all that. You have to grow up sooner or later. That's why it's called life. It comes with no rules and no regulations. It is what it is. My deep thought for today is some people aren't hard of hearing, but they're hard of listening. Make the most of the best and the least of the worst. Some people aren't hard of hearing, but hard of listening. So make the most of the best and the least of the worst. And I just want to throw that out there. Y'all know how to do my motivational quotes. If today is your birthday, happy birthday to you. And yeah, I'm going to put Alicia on the spot today. And she's going to embrace you all with happy birthday instead of a quote from me. Because I can't sing except in the shower. And nobody needs to hear that. I can sing in the shower.
Okay.
I can throw down.
You turn into Aretha?
Oh, my God. A combination of Aretha. Then I get my wings like Patty.
And then you hit it down like Tina.
And then I hit it down like Tina. And I throw a little Whitney in there.
Oh, okay. So you
right.
Okay.
Girl. Damn. Okay, I'm gonna stop while I'm ahead. I was gonna throw somebody else in there, but I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead.
I'm gonna have somebody record you while you singing. And then we're gonna play it and everybody gonna see it.
I always wanted singing lessons. I always wanted to sing. Oh my God.
It's hard.
It's hard.
You gotta get that right note is hard. That's the hard part. Because
you know, people be in the car and you pull up to them and they be like, yes. And you be like, they can't sing. You know they can't sing, right? You know. So Alicia, take it away. She's gonna sing happy birthday to you guys if today is your birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Woo, 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 woo. Y'all can send all my birthday cards and you can send her payments too. No, I'm just kidding. She can blow y'all. See, she can sing. Yeah. And as we go to break and bring back our guests to our platform, I'm going to share this with you. And I love this quote. Someone sent this to me. Some people are going to reject you because you shine too bright for them. And guess what? That's okay, because those are not your people, because they don't pay your light bill, your gas bill, your phone bill, or your car note. So keep shining and being the dopest you ever. IntellectualRadio.com, iHeartRadio station. If you would like to advertise a commercial, your product, your service, your brand, hit me up or Alicia. We'll go over our media packages with you and we'll get your information here on our platform. Remember, it's international. IntellectualRadio.com and iHeartRadio station. Back in a moment. So please share the broadcast. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Team Olivia P. Listen to Making Waves with Miss Darci on IR and iHeartRadio station, Tuesday and Thursday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. We love you, Miss Darci.
Hey, this is Lenny Williams, and I enjoy listening to IntellectualRadio.com and Making Waves with Miss Darci.
Are bill collectors calling you? Are you afraid to answer the phone? Afraid of lawsuits, garnishments, losing your apartment, house, or car? Then call us for your debt relief options. I'm attorney Peter Francis Geraci. Chapter 7 or 13 can relieve the debt pressure. Call us now for a free phone mini consultation or log on to infotapes.com. We're the law firm you trust to get you out of debt.
1-800-401-4010.
Hey, this
It's a new year and the first anniversary of our revolutionary acne treatment. To celebrate, we have an amazing new offer for you. Order Proactive Plus, and for a special limited time, you'll pay just $19.95. Imagine yourself with skin so clear and beautiful, you feel confident to go after all the things you want. Make it happen today with Proactive Plus.
That's a huge difference. Look at that. Proactive Plus makes me feel amazingly beautiful.
Proactive Plus is dermatologist developed to help seek out and fix problem areas on your skin. And it's proven to work 4 times faster than the leading prescription.
This product is doing it. I started seeing results with Proactive Plus within the first week.
Now's the best time ever to order because we're offering extra savings to first-time customers. Call 1-800-773-5681 to get our 3-step system plus free gifts and free shipping. All just $19.95.
I use Proactive Plus every day. Like
Sugar sound good.
Like it. If not, we'll make it again on the spot. That's the DD commitment America runs on.
Morning, what can I get? Sugar sound good.
At Dunkin', we make your coffee just the way you like it. If not, we'll make it again on the spot. That's the DD commitment America runs on Dunkin'.
I thought you looked at me.
Yep. Welcome back. See, I'm like, I dream of Gene. What? So without him introduce himself to you.
Well, hello, and thank you for inviting me. My name is Billy Montgomery. I'm a digital content producer, also a professor of journalism at Roosevelt University, and I love all things media.
All right. Yes, he does. That's how I met him, through all things media and Roosevelt University. Now, Billy, growing up, what was your favorite hobby?
Oh, wow. That's easy. Baseball. For the first, I would say 18 years of my life, I thought I was going to be a baseball player.
Really?
And yeah, I played. I grew up on 49th and Drexel. Didn't have a lot of parks near us. And Mom was very protective. Didn't let us go off the block too much. So what we used to do is there was this open slab of concrete, literally, where a building used to stand. And we would actually go out there and play baseball. And we didn't have all, we just had a bat. We sometimes would take a tree limb or whatever we had in a rock, and we would just play baseball. So actually, when I obviously got into Little League, more organized sports, I got really comfortable doing it. And I really got good at it. I was on our Pony League All-Star team and things of that nature. So, of course, played baseball in high school. So I just knew that was my track, and my whole family knew that. They was like, I guess I'm going to be their meal ticket or something. Everybody's like, yeah, he gonna be this big baseball player. And so when I got to my first college, I didn't get a scholarship to play athletics, but I tried out. And it's hard to be a walk-on. You had to make me feel good, because at least I knew. I just gave it up and started getting into writing, and the rest is history.
Why baseball? Why not basketball or football?
I break the stereotype. I do not know how to play basketball at all. I'll watch it, but don't put me on the court, because you're going to be in trouble. I'll foul out probably within the first minute or something like that. I just never got good at basketball. I tried to play it in high school, where they would have you do part of gym. But during one of the tryouts for varsity, this guy had his helmet cracked, and that was enough to make me say, okay, I'm good.
Right. See, that's how I am. If I see something, last year we went on our trip. We go on a trip every year. So we were in Jamaica on a private island. We went on a excursion. So we all went. It was a bunch of us, maybe like 30 something. We all went horseback riding.
Ooh.
So they was like, we're going to go into some water, but it's not going to come to you. It's going to be like your ankle. Right. So we galloping and everything. And everybody know I'm dramatic. We galloping and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to be able to do this. They was like, well, we got to get to the other side. I need to get off right here. They were taking pictures. They were in tears. They talked about me. I didn't even care. So the man was like, it's going to be okay. Then you need to get over here and hold my horse, like right now, because it was a bunch of us, and he was way like over there by Earl. He says he telling me it's gonna be okay, but you ain't over here. So for all I see is water. So everybody going on and on. Then this lady fell in the water, just like you said. You walked off. It was a wrap. I was like, I'm done. Take this off of me. They was like, okay, we need you to calm down. So they literally had to go and hold what's the thing in the front, and guide me like I was. And you think I cared? I was like, as soon as I get back, I'm done. I was fussing.
Yeah, I'm the same way with dogs. People like, he don't bite them like your teeth.
See. Yeah. You walk past the porch, and you're on the porch is a Doberman and a Rottweiler. And they say, oh, come on past, baby. He not gonna bite you. He ain't on no chain. He just laying there. And I'm like, I'm on the other side of the street, just like Billy said, he got teeth. And they was like, no. Then I look up, and the dog then came off the porch. I'm on somebody's hood of their car.
Very true.
Yeah, see, that's just crazy. Who was your role model growing up?
Oh man,
who was your?
That's a real good question. I think I had quite a few role models. No one really necessarily in sports or anything like that. I think most of the men in my family, growing up, I had a lot of uncles, and they did to me, they were superheroes, because I never saw them, quote unquote, punching a clock, because they were entrepreneurs.
Really?
I had an uncle who owned his own trucking business in Detroit. another one who owned his own cleaners in New York. They were inspirations for me, because they let me see that it was possible for a Black man to be able to have his own without having to go work for someone else. And I think that's part of the reason why I am the way I am today in terms of doing my own business as well outside of, the teaching. So I would say my uncles were primarily my inspiration. Dad played an influence, but my uncles were more hands-on with me. They treated me like I was more their son than he did for some reason, because they had boys. And so I guess it was like one of those, we're going to just put you in the clan with everybody else. So yeah, they were definitely inspirations. And I did read a lot growing up. I got really attracted to books early on. When I was growing up, the reading is fundamental truck would come through our neighborhood as often as the ice cream truck would come through. So we would get books and things of that nature. And so I always had a love for reading, a love for history, a love for just understanding how different concepts work. I've always been that type of person, and all that's really had an influence. I didn't realize it at the time, but pretty much shaping me into who I am today.
Alicia?
So you said that one of your hobbies was sports. So as a person who loves media, have you ever filmed or edited or been a part of have you ever been an announcer for a sports event?
People say I have a good voice, but I've never done a sports thing.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I've never done sports. I've done voiceover work. I've narrated pieces. I'm more of a behind the scenes person, truly, though. This is really not even my element to be on mic. That's why when she first told me about it, I was like, are you sure you want me to come on?
He did. I was like, excuse me. I'm not taking no phone.
But I love to do the tech setup. I love to be behind the scenes. So editing, all that, that's my thing. So totally, I like to do that because, to be honest with you, I always tell people the magic is in the editing. Right. When I tell my students we're doing, whether it's photography, videography, audio production, I always tell them, give yourself enough good stuff to work with, because you can really get really creative with it. But if you start off with stuff that's really bad, you're going to struggle when it comes to editing. So, yeah, so definitely putting things together digitally has always been something I've been very passionate about. Even before digital, I used to do analog. We used to have to literally and splice tape together. Headache.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When I first started doing audio editing, it was basically off cassette tapes. Cassette tapes would pop.
Wow.
You didn't want to go buy another cassette tape, so you literally sat down and you put it together.
And it would work.
And I didn't realize that that's what they were doing anyway. So I was really editing before my time. I didn't realize it was editing, but I called myself saving money.
Talk about technology.
Yeah,
wow.
And then technology came. I was like, yeah, same thing with digital photography. I started out on film. Digital photography was just coming out when I started doing photography. So I started learning with film, and I'm so glad I did, because what film does, it teaches you it trains you how to trust your eye. You don't have time to look down at every shot, like they do on the camera phones and like they do on, digital photography. And so now when I have the digital, I'm just finding a way, especially like in sporting events, and I'm watching everybody else look down. I'm like, you're missing the shot, you're missing the game. Like, yeah, I want to make sure I got it right. Yeah, just shoot. I always go back and review later, so that's something that I'm glad I had the old school. So I'm kind of like right in the middle, where I had enough of the old school and I definitely know the new school stuff. So.
Alicia's good at photography. I'm not good. I may cut
Really?
something off. It may be crooked. They'd be like, take a picture. I'm like, you really don't want me to take this picture. Like, I try to stay in my lane, because I know certain stuff I don't even ask me to do.
I get it.
But if you ask me, make sure you understand it's not going to come out the way you look at it.
Well, at least you give people warning.
I have to let them know. But she's good. I watch her when she's, taking pictures or doing anything. She's making sure she got the angle, make sure.
Nice.
And then I'll be like, you ready? Okay, here we go. Your ass may be closed. I may get one foot and not the other one is tilted.
I get it.
And then I have to read. They be like, let me see the picture before you move. Let me see, because this is not right.
Well, it's like taking selfies. I mean, how many selfies do you take before you post one?
I don't take selfies.
See, I'm the same way. I'm not a selfie
I don't do selfies.
person.
Don't. They say take a picture. I'll be like, you know how to operate this? I just don't. I really don't. But I would love. I got amazing cameras, video cameras.
Yeah.
Because I like that.
Yeah.
And I said, but now I need to go and learn how to use them, because
Gotcha.
they be sitting in this box with all this stuff it does. And I need to take a photography class.
Girl, you better come on down. That's what I do.
I need to. Alicia actually had the opportunity of operating one that I've had for over a year.
Wow.
You can put it in water.
It's pretty.
It has the camera. You can take a picture from the camera on the phone, a watch. It has all the stuff.
Wow.
And I have
it's underwater. You can use it underwater. Yeah. Oh man, I would love that.
And it's still in the box.
Love that. Wow.
For a year. It'll be 2 years in November because that's what I wanted. And
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you come on down. We'll take care of that.
But she's good. I watch how she records and she's good. I want to learn how to do it. I think it's amazing to see the captures. I went back and looked at your pictures, all your photography. I was like, I need to go down here and make me an appointment. And I need some new headshots. I'm like, I didn't know he do this.
We'll definitely make
that
happen.
They were amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Why photography though? Why photography? Why media?
Yeah, going back to what I said before, growing up, I just was fascinated by, reading. And obviously with reading, you don't see pictures that much, but it provokes your imagination. You want to know more about what you're reading about. And I think that's what kind of got me into it. It's funny now because some of my high school classmates, they'll see me on social media and like, yeah, man, I see you still doing your photography. And I laugh at them because I never touched the camera in high school. But that's the first thing they said.
You never did?
I didn't, because we were really, I'll tell you what really kind of turned me off. Again, starting off in film, that whole darkroom experience, I never got comfortable with it. Having to go in and knowing the right amount of fixer to use and the right type of lighting to use under the red light. And if you don't unload your film properly, you might expose a few frames and then you'd have messed it all up. And back then, film was, I guess it probably still is, very expensive. You got 24 frames. And if you didn't get in 24 frames, you were in trouble.
I like the Polaroid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite camera.
Yeah, the Polaroid. Yeah.
But you didn't get that many, and you have to pull that thing, and you have to let it sit.
Let it sit, and
then pull it off.
The light comes on it, and it's like, oh, magic. And it's so funny because we're kind of going back to that too. I noticed the old school Polaroids are now coming back.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm. It's funny how things kind of go in circles. But yeah, I think that's how I got into it.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely right. But you use it with modern technology. I forgot all about this. It's a small printer, and you'll take the picture from your phone, and then you'll send the picture to it's a very small printer, and it'll print it out like a Polaroid.
Oh, you got to show me that.
Yep.
I wonder if it's on my printer, because it show you how you can print photos. I've never used it. It's a certain printer.
Well, I know it was like a printer that like had Bluetooth that hooked up, but some printers,
Bluetooth.
The bigger ones do have the Bluetooth like technology where you can send them, but this one was like a portable. If you were at your office, or if you were at, you're like, okay, well, I'll pick it up and now I'll do it from the car, or like
you can print it.
Yeah.
So you don't have to plug it up.
No, I think it was battery powered.
Get that. I wonder if it's expensive. I need to get that.
Yeah,
I would love. Now I gotta learn photography.
I seen it a couple of years ago. I think it was like 2 years ago. I seen like somebody had. It was one of those like educational videos they posted on Facebook of the new technology that was coming out, and that was one of them. So yeah, he's absolutely right.
I would love to get an old Polaroid camera.
Yeah, everything is coming back, and I think what happened when I got to college, that's when I got exposed to major media, dealing with video cameras and dealing with microphones and things of that nature. And I just really got interested in the whole thing with media, and I changed my major from being an English major to being a broadcast communications major. And from there, it was just every time I could get a chance to work the camera, work tech, that was my thing.
How is videography for you and editing? How is that? Is that hard? Is it difficult? Is it challenging? How is that for you when you first learn how to do that? Because I just seem like it's hard, but I guess once you get the hang of it.
Yeah, once you get the hang of it, it's addicting. My wife just started editing. It's so funny. We were talking about that. She used to get on my case because I would be editing, and then she would say, "You taking too long for my projects," and I was just, So now she's doing editing, and you can just see her in the room on the Mac, just taking forever and all night. And I said, basically, like I tell my students, you really want to think about it it's almost an hour per minute. So when you're doing, you want to kind of
wait.
Yeah, I know it sounds crazy.
You said an hour per minute?
Yeah, on average.
You're doing 30 minutes, that ain't 30 hours.
Yeah, it is. Because, of course, you're not going to sit there for a full day and a half. But basically what you're doing is you got to review the film. Okay. Review the video. Then you got to think about, okay, what parts are the best parts? And then how do I put them in order? Then let's say if your soundtrack is not good, you got to make sure you raise your audio levels up. You got to make sure your color correction is good in your video. And then you want to be creative in your editing. You don't just want everything to be a cut. So you got to think about, okay, do I want to wipe here or dissolve? Do I want a voiceover on this part, or do I want to have it be the person talking? And so there's a lot to go into as far as the thinking it out. So yeah, it could take that long. You got to think about it. Look at movies, films. That's why they take anywhere from 2 weeks to 6 months to produce, because you're putting a lot into it. Like I tell my students, I'm real big on the kindergarten stuff. They say, what's the kindergarten stuff? I said, storyboarding. You remember when you were in first, second grade, you literally work boxes.
Yeah.
I said, that's how you really envision your plan for producing your video. So once you get it though, man,
you got Alicia over here talking about when you start talking, it just went right over my head. Like, okay. Well, at least you're like,
he's talking about, like, even when you come to editing, even like when you're editing, it also depends on how creative filming you are as well. So say, for example, you don't want to just do, like he was saying, you just don't want to do cuts. So say one scene you want to do, like, say the person walks past the camera goes black, and now once the person walks past, you're at a new scene. Mm-hmm. So those are different ways to transition, and you have to time it perfect. And when he's walking past, you have to make sure that it's black, and then it's the mask of the new, like you have to mask it where the new video is coming on. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of little creative it's a lot of little things, but you got to see how creative you can get with the little things. So as he's talking about, I'm like, absolutely, yes, absolutely, because it's like he was saying, it's about an hour per minute roughly. So
who instituted? Because when I first met you, I think it was like year and a half ago.
Yeah, about 2 years.
And so somebody put on social media, I don't know if it was you or one of your students, said it, they're looking for somebody to do headshots or a photo shoot or something like that.
Oh, that was me. So part of what I try to do
is that part of the curriculum?
Yeah, well, it's part of it, but it's actually my my effort in trying to create more outside opportunities for students to actually really see what it's like to be a professional. And so when I put the post on Facebook, I told my class ahead of time, we're going to have outside people coming in because they get very comfortable working within themselves, their own little group. And I said, no, you guys are going to have outside people that you don't know. It's going to be your responsibility to call them, talk to them about their personalities, what they're trying to convey, maybe even suggest some things to them. And then when they come into the studio, you're going to do the work. And so that's where that came from in terms of bringing in outside, people to work with them. And I've only done it 2 years now, and it's been very, very positive. Both years, we've had great responses from people. Nobody's complaining about the pictures, thank God. The students are always super nervous.
They are, but it's nice though.
But they do a great job.
Because we were outside, and then we came inside, and then we went into a room.
And then you did a studio too, right?
And I did the studio, and they had the different lighting, and I was then because I know one girl, she even sat on the floor. It was really interesting, and then I got to meet, got to network with some people there, find out what they do. One actually. That particular person just reached out to me for employment, but it was too far.
Okay.
And I was like, who is this? She said, remember I called you and you came in for and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Deneen. She reached out to me.
Okay.
She reached out to me, and I was like, wow, that's been over a year ago.
Wow. That's glad she remembered.
Yeah, I am, but I left my card.
Okay.
And then and the one that we just recently did with me and Alicia is I got to network with a couple of matter of fact, all the women that were in that room where we did the podcast, I'm still in touch with them.
That's so
just
cool.
Talked to 2 this morning, and so I like that it was something different because when she said Roosevelt University, and I'm like, wait, now I wonder if it's the same person because and then I was like, Alicia, I want you to go because you can meet people, you can network, and it was really nice to sit there and watch the doctor, the person that did hair, the other young lady who has her own radio show, and just see how diverse, just everybody getting up. We're all in one room. We don't know each other. And you saying you ready. You can see some of the students who were okay with meeting new people, and someone was nervous.
Yeah.
But I tried to help them on because I get it, but I like that you're doing that because that's the real world.
Yeah, it is.
That's the real world.
Yeah. And that's why I tell them, I was like, the reality is, you're going to get thrown out to the wolves sometimes, and you just can't you got to do it scared. Just don't worry about it. You'll get over it. But it's been very, very successful. Getting ready to gear up for another term. So I'll be making that Facebook post again.
And I'll be like, hey,
come on through. But yeah, they really like it. Once they understand it, I think initially they're like, why is somebody from the outside coming in? Because they have this little gated community that's just them. And I said, guys, the world is bigger than your block. You have to meet people, and they understand it once you get to the part where you start talking about networking. And to be quite honest, as you mentioned about that one student, we actually had another student who got hired, by one of the clients that came in. So I said, these people might come in strangers, but end up being your clients. You just never know. I get calls maybe once a semester from some outside group saying, hey, we need, like, I can never forget this one guy on the north side. They were doing, it wasn't even a 5K run. It was like something shorter than that. And he said, we need a student to basically be able to come out and shoot it and then produce a 1-minute video for $400.
Wow.
Do you know, in that one class, I couldn't get one person to take me up on it. I said, y'all must not want money.
You got me and Alicia. We sitting right here. I know he got my. See, now I'm getting ready to stalk him. Y'all know I stalk. I always say I'm gonna stalk you. I tell you I'm gonna stalk you if I think we can work together. I'm gonna stalk you, don't you?
Yeah, it was what it was that they were scared.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are you guys going to get experience? I said, listen, the real talk, and I know as an academic person, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's the truth. Nowhere in my employment history has any employer ever asked me about my GPA. They always ask me about my experience. And so you guys have to get experience. It's great to get A's in your classes. I'm not telling you, I know you got scholarships and all that kind of stuff, but the reality is get experience. And that's why I'm really glad at Roosevelt that we do give them opportunities to write for the student newspaper, to produce at the radio station, to produce at our TV station, to be able to do creative work with photography. We have a lot of different photography opportunities as well. I don't teach as many photography classes as I would like, but I'm grateful for the media production class because in that class, I do all of it.
Wow, that's good. Well, I'm always interested. Like I told you, when me and Alicia was there, we're always looking for interns. Alicia came up with a great idea for this platform that we're going to kick off in August. And so we need other interns to come in and learn, and they can put their creativity into, and then we also have media packages where they can get paid as an intern, and then that would help them go out and meet businesses.
Yeah.
And so, and we give you an interview mock, but you still have to put it into your own format and your own style. But that's a part of what you're doing, because anybody that hires you for radio and TV, you could have went to any school. It could be accredited or non-accredited. The first thing they're going to say, where have you worked at?
That's
Do
very
you
true.
have any hands-on
experience?
And I used to get frustrated. I was like, but I got my degree. Do you have any hands-on experience? And that's why I created my platform with revolving interns, because I know they're not going to be with me forever. But at least if an employer called me and say, this person, we're thinking about hiring this person, I can write them an excellent letter of recommendation.
That's right.
But if you just graduated, you got a piece of paper and you waving it out and applying it, they're not going to hire you. And it's good and it's bad, but I get it because you got this, but then I don't know what you can do. So that's going to determine whether I'm going to pay you $25,000 or $60,000.
Yeah, and it's a challenge. I get it, because a lot of the students, because they don't have enough financial support, they have to work several jobs and things of that nature. But I told them, I said, the reality is we all had the same 24 hours, guys, same 7 days a week. And I said, I've seen you guys blow time just on your phones, kicking it, between class. I said, that's the time you can be doing production work in between classes. And I said, the urgency is just not there. But what I do see, ironically, is when they graduate and they come back and they'll say stuff like, man, wish I took advantage of it. I said, I was trying to tell y'all to take advantage of it then.
Because now they got, which they could have been doing all the way, and they could have perfected it. That's what I like. That's why Alicia just graduated from Illinois Media School.
Okay,
and so she's showing me about downloading, taking the podcast into an MP4, MP. Yeah. And so MP4. I'm watching her. It's still foreign to me, but I am learning.
Yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of it. To be able to take. Here's the thing that used to happen, right? You only had one medium. You did it for radio, you did it for television, you did it for print. Now, because of the way multimedia works, you can take a form like this, like I said, and download it into MP4. But if you want to say, you know what, this was a good piece, I think I want to turn it into a podcast, change it over to an MP3. I mean, it's just so many things. You can take the script and say, okay, let's do an ebook. There's so many different ways to flip your story now, and so it's good that
and income,
absolutely,
because you can change that. And if you want to present it to somebody to go on a major network or a major platform by turning your show into a podcast or into an ebook,
that's so
you
true.
know, that's called multi-level marketing, but it's your platform.
It's your platform.
You know, and so when you said you were surrounded by entrepreneurs, that's why the mindset, everybody is not cut out for entrepreneur. And I get it, because I used to say, well, why don't you want to? Why do you want to sit and work for somebody else? For me, and everybody has to develop or grow into it themselves.
Right.
Because coming up for me, my girlfriends, we've been together since, I want to say, 3rd grade. We've been at the date of birth, graduations, divorces, whatever you want to call it. But what we have, everybody has grown and matured, and we can see it, right? But what for me was, it was 7 of us, because one passed. So 6 of us. Well, it started out with 7, and 3 of them worked a regular job. Well, we all started out with a regular job, but 4 of us wanted to be entrepreneurs.
Wow.
And we didn't know a lot of entrepreneurs. We know people who were in corporate America, right? You get you a 6-figure job, you got your pension, you set. You gotta get a government job.
Yeah,
that was the thing. Get a government job. And so I was like, I ain't gonna work that hard. Like, that's how I felt at that age, right? So I started off at Zenith, and then I left. I worked my way up in Zenith because I used to be a key punch. Back then, it was key punch operators. I was the fastest key punch operator. Then I became a supervisor, and I worked my way up to management. And then they offered us a buyout because they closed the Zenith on Austin. Then we moved to Franklin Park. Then they closed that. So then I went to work at US Robotics, where they first started the modems.
Okay.
And so I've always had a corporate job, but then we decided to save our money and start traveling every year, right? And so we had to all put in these vacation requests. And I had all this comp time, because you know, back in the day, Alicia probably can't relate to this, but we were hourly, but we couldn't wait to be salary.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that salary meant you lived at the company.
Pretty much.
Because at 5 o'clock, you couldn't just get up and go home.
Right.
But we didn't get that. We just knew we wanted to go from from hourly to salary.
Yeah, benefits.
I had like 3 months of comp time. And every time we would put in, me and my other friend, they would tell us it's not a good time. So out of 7, 5 would get their vacations, and we couldn't. I was like, you know what? I'm in the bathroom. I'm not gonna be able to make it today. And I would be rehearsing. See, y'all laughing. I would be like, that don't sound good. Hello? Like practicing in the bathroom. Like hot water running, I'm choked up.
I get it.
Or get me something that's gonna make me sneeze. I used to get pepper and put it in my hand and sniff it.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't.
You sound like my students.
But I got it to the point where I had perfected it.
Okay.
Really? Back then. So they were okay with that because they could hear you. Then as management got wiser, they needed
Yeah.
Oh, that ain't no problem. I would make myself get a fever. Hot packs and go in. They'd be like, oh my God, you burned up. Your temperature's like 100. It's like, you need to be in the hospital. It was like that hot.
Wow.
Like, they was like, okay, we'll give you a note. We need you to stay home in the bed. And the next morning I was on the plane.
Wow.
Like literally.
Wow.
And I kept on saying, this is too much. I can't keep doing this.
Right.
So that's when I decided to start reading and studying. I would get audio because I wasn't a reader. I needed everything like this. So then I got the audios and I got the best, headphones, and I would listen because I'm a visual person. So eventually I did have to read, but for the most part, I would do an audio or the video. Back then, the VCR. I had anything that would be visual for me. But then after that, I said, I understand why everybody is not cut out for entrepreneur. Only thing that entrepreneurship did for me as I got older is it taught me how to save. Because as I got contract or clients or customers, they would pay you in one lump sum or half down. You got the balance. And I had to pay all my bills while I had the money. And my daddy was always on us about, say, 6 months worth of rent. I'm like, why? And he made us, because we were still at home working, summer jobs. We had to put money up as though whatever the highest light bill was, whatever the highest, This is what you do. And we need y'all to get a house. Don't rent that. And that's just because my father had property.
Yeah.
We didn't understand it then, except for my older sister did. She was the one that listened, and she's living her life.
Wow.
But it make you, like when you said you didn't get it and your students didn't get it then, but then they come back.
Yeah.
So you have to mature sooner or later.
Absolutely.
You don't get it right away, but eventually the bill gonna go off.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's
and you know, like I tell them, you know, somebody came up with this phrase, and I don't know where it came from, but they feel like the 20s are your experimental years, that you can waste them. Like, no, that's when you start investing. So you think about if you start investing and you're 25. Let's say you get to the point like, you know, I don't like my boss. I'm tired of doing all this stuff. You got this money set aside that's been accruing all these years, man. You can walk off and do whatever you want to do.
If we knew what we knew now.
Please, I tell my daughter.
I don't want to go back to 20 or 25. I think 30 or 35.
Yeah.
And Billy, we knew what we knew right now.
Absolutely.
We would be dangerous.
Trust me. I tell my daughter this all the time. She's 25. And I'm like, that's why I got you starting on this now.
Yeah.
Because I want you to understand. You might not get it right now because I can tell she has this deer in headlights look when I talk to her about investing and everything like that. I said, but I'm gonna walk you through this because what I know now, like you said, I don't necessarily want to go back that far.
Right.
But if I can have that knowledge at least.
That's when you're right. Because I don't want to be 19. I want to be 16.
Right.
I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah.
But we had a insurance person over here. He was a broker, and my brother-in-law. And I was telling Alicia, he was like, just sit down with us for a consultation. I ain't did it either. Sit down with a consultation. And so he been calling me too. And he was like, just let me show you what you could do. Because I love what I do, but at some point I may not want to do it. Right.
I got you.
And so I'm saving, you know, I got the CD, all that. But if there's a way to get even more money, I need to hear it. If I could change what I'm doing. So he used Alicia because Alicia, you know, she's just a little bit younger than me. And so just a little bit. And so he was saying if she put like $25 or $50 right now a month and put it in something that was going to mature for the next forget it for the next 25 years, she would be set for life. Literally. And I don't care what happened. Whether it's your nails for us, you know, pedicure, whatever it is, new outfit, always pay that. If you don't do nothing just like for the cell phone, always pay that. My father always told us, because we had, remember them big phones we had? He was like, people you meet, you want to always keep your number. And I was like, what? Because, you know, we get phone calls, we go to a new carrier or whatever. He was like, because if something happened and a person that was a role model for you or someone that you really admired, they could always find that phone number. Same thing with an email. And I never understood that. But now I've had my number for over 20 years.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't switch
up. Because they can still find you. Well, now we got social media. We have all this stuff. And I'm telling my kids, listen to what somebody say. It may not work for you, but you won't know. You might be passing over something good, but just listen.
That's right.
Because these are their best years. And so if you got somebody in that corner that's rooting for them, and then somebody saying you ain't gonna be nothing, you like you with your daughter. Who the best inspiration? You have a business, you're teaching students. I've seen you in the act, and you literally love what you do.
Absolutely.
Everybody can't say that on a 9 to 5.
Yeah, that's true.
They can't. Alicia's in the prime, so she's at the point where she could decide where her life is gonna go, like right now. And the only thing I regret is what my dad was telling us that we didn't adhere until later. Had we adhered then, my whole life would be different.
But you know, the powerful thing about it is that when awareness comes, that's when you start. It's never too late to get started.
Absolutely. You know? I agree with that a lot. And I don't necessarily think that people, I do think some people waste their 20s, but I think that the biggest thing that I want people to know for as you're doing in your 20s is to learn yourself. Take that time to learn yourself, because as you're learning yourself, you learn how you operate and how to maximize what you're doing. So by the time you get there, you say, okay, I know myself. I know how I operate in the world. And now I know a good chunk of how the world operates. So now in the 30s, I'm going to get everything done that I need to do. I take this 20s as a learning. And a lot of people think when you're 20, you're supposed to, especially because, you know, we have TV as an example where you're 25 and you're like, okay, I'm out of college, I have a career and I have a house. And a lot of times it's not like that. Right. You don't actually get everything that you're supposed to get almost until you're 30 or 30, 40 or 35. Hopefully most everybody gets Like,
It just depends.
Real.
So it's just the more that you can learn and absorb and be a sponge. I always tell people to be a sponge, and I always try to be a sponge. When I meet people, they're like, "You're a sponge. You listen to everything that I say," and I'm like, "I'm just trying to get your opinion." But I digress. I just think that that's a big thing, especially when you're talking about your daughter, and you deal with a lot of younger people because you're a teacher. And I just the things that you're talking about, I just really agree with and relate to. Just because you were saying they could you could try this or you could try that, and it's just they have to learn it.
Sure.
They have to learn it.
I mean, I used to be a youth leader at my prior church years ago, and some of those students are millennials now. And it's funny how I saw one. I actually just did her wedding a couple of years ago, shot her wedding, and she said, they used to call me Brother Billy. She said, "Brother Billy, it wasn't that we weren't listening to you. It's just, I guess we had to live our own lives and find out for ourselves." But she said, "I can tell you everything you told us." And she started repeating literally things I said over a decade. And I'm like, I said that? I don't even remember what I said. Yeah, and then remember that time you did this illustration? And remember this time you talked about this? And I was like, I don't, but I'm glad you do.
And they were still listening.
Yeah.
Just because we don't respond. Because I remember my dad sitting down with all of us, talking to us about life. And we was like, can we go now? We're trying to get out to this party. It's a basement set down here. And he's talking to us because he loves us, But and he was like, y'all wouldn't listen. And I was with him yesterday. He was like, you wouldn't listen. I said, Dad, I was listening. I just didn't. I was listening because I kept on saying, I got time.
And I think when you're saying like with your dad and like with the people that you inspire, and with myself, I've had situations where I say that person said this to me, and it's relevant to what I'm going through right now. So I'm going, and to me, the best way someone's ever described it is your conscious. It's a little voice in your head that someone said to you or you read somewhere, but it's usually somebody that said left the imprint on them, and it's just that small piece of like it's like Jiminy Cricket on their shoulder as they're going through stuff. So it's really great that you put your imprint on people, because a lot of the times there are people in the world that have parents or they have people in their lives that are older, but they don't leave the imprint that needs to be.
Very true.
That's true.
And even as you just said, that was a poignant point, because I'm reminded of people who say, whoever remembers what the graduation speaker said. And I'm one of the few people that can say, actually, I do remember something that happened at high school graduation where I don't remember the speaker's name, but I do remember the speaker said 3 things that I've kept throughout my work career, and said, go to work on time, and do your job. Those 3 principles will keep you in an employment phase. So you're going to face racism, you're going to face sexism, you're going to all the, corporate things that happen, but go to work, be on time, and do your job. And I've always made that my philosophy, and I pass it down to my students as well, because I tell them, like, a lot of times you just be honest, they'll make it seem like you're doing something exceptional when it's really just
it's what you're supposed to do.
Be doing.
And people that don't do those first 2, to go to work and be on time, let me tell you mine. Let me tell them that. No, I won't tell my age. My son is going to be 33 next month. He's never missed a day of work.
Wow, that's good.
And he's never been late. And he worked at Toys R Us, and he started at the bottom, and he worked his way up to management before they closed. And the work ethic, his bosses and management, people that would fly in, was like, as young as you are. And he didn't drive.
Wow.
He walked or he took the bus.
Wow.
The only time he would ask us for a ride is if they had him work overnight, and he had to go like at 3 or 4 because the buses didn't run at the time, because we live in the burbs.
Okay.
Or it snowed real bad and the buses weren't running. Then he would ask us. But that work at because I was like that. The only way I miss work is if I was sick, because I was always sickly, through school. But other than that, that's why I couldn't understand when I had time. I had comp time, and you tell me it ain't a good time. Well, when is a good time?
When is a good time?
But for me, we learned that from my father, because my father worked.
Yeah.
And he built that in us. And my son, they would pay $100 a month for the employee who never missed a day. $100 a month for the person who never was late. And what I would do was say, when I would go out to events or networking events, I would always try to arrive at that event 30 minutes early. And so if that meant I had to leave 90 minutes ahead of time, that's what I would do, because I used to be late all the time. And then my goal was not to be late again. And for me not to be late, I had to go even earlier. For traffic, for one, in Chicago.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not good with north, south, and east and west, and I ain't ashamed because I got GPS.
I got you.
When we didn't have GPS,
yeah,
I would print out
the map
going and coming back.
I got you.
Now, if there was a landmark and it was gone, I was in trouble because I'm looking for that, and it's toe down. I'm still driving. I'm looking for the KFC on the right hand side of the street. So, kids, they, like she said, you put an imprint. So just because they don't respond right then when you want them to, and I've learned because my parents was on us, but with my kids, I tried to take a step back. I would say what I got to say, and then I'm done. But I would never. There was nothing that my kid could do that would make me not love them.
Good.
And that was huge for me because I see people where if the child don't do what they say, you know, they not for them. You still got, that's still your child. You still got to love them. You don't, or if they want to be gay or lesbian, that's still your child.
Exactly.
So, and I see people, and then they wonder why their children take a different path.
That's right.
And all they want is your blessings and your support. You don't have to agree with them. You know, my daughter grown. I don't like every guy she dates. I'll be like, But then but see, that makes her go to him for more. So I have to step back. I say my little piece, but then I step back. Bitch, you got me, mom. He did so. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, you know, we have to step back and let our kids grow into who they are.
Absolutely.
And everybody doesn't do that. And I admire you because when you said you're talking to your daughter, you're going to still support your daughter no matter what.
Absolutely.
Nobody's perfect. So I can't say, oh, you did this wrong, so now this is how I'm going to treat you. That's still my child.
That's right. That's right.
Now, I can talk about him, but you can't talk about him.
That's right. That's right. I feel you.
Yeah. So we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and find out what Billy Montgomery has coming up. And so we can be a part or support. Please share the broadcast. And we're going to talk about Alicia gonna come. We're gonna come back. Alicia gonna talk, and I'm gonna rest because she's gonna talk about the new law that takes effect July 1st with these right here. So don't go anywhere. Share the broadcast. You're tuned in to IntellectualRadio.com and iHeart Radio Station. And I know today we are feeding your brain. Back in a moment.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain. Feed me now.
Welcome back. We having a sidebar on the brain bar, right? So we're talking. So we're going to Alicia talk about the new law that takes effect on July 1st.
Okay, so the new Illinois texting and driving law is effective July 1st, 2019. Drivers caught texting behind the wheel will be issued a moving violation that will go on their driving record. Anyone convicted of 3 moving violations in 12-month period may have their license suspended. Under the current law, though, that took effect in 2014, a first offense in texting and driving is a non-moving violation and doesn't affect the person's driving record. You pay a $75 fine, and that's just for the first offense. Drivers who text, talk, and use any handheld device behind the wheel will receive a ticket for a moving violation moving forward. So on top of all of that, I guess the exception for the moving for the texting and driving was that if you were at a stop sign. So now if you're at a stop sign, if you are moving, it's gone from a non-moving violation to a moving violation, and it says text messages and cell phones while stopped at a red light will count as the moving violation. In a standstill rush hour traffic is a moving violation. The only exception is if you are parked at a like railroad crossing, if you're waiting for a train. Other than that, it is anything where your car is in drive, it's considered a moving violation. And three of them in 12 months, you will lose your, they'll suspend it. And they also said that the police can now request a warrant to prove that you were in violation of the law.
So how are they going to do that? How are they going to request?
You can pull somebody over, and as a police officer, and you can request a warrant to search the car to see if your phone was like, because say if I'm driving and I have my phone in my hand and then I throw it because I know the police officer's behind me and it falls underneath the seat. But the police officer seeing the phone in my hand, they can sit there and wait to get a warrant. It doesn't really take that long.
But don't they have to prove that you had it in your hand?
No.
How you go? But how? Because it's still your word against theirs. Because officers can pull up and you got the phone on your knee or in your hand, and you see them, and you could just click the button and just politely just. I'm just saying, how are they going to know?
They got that dash cam, so they've been following you for a minute.
They probably gonna have that on now when they don't have it on for the other stuff. Right. See what I'm saying? But to me. Yeah. And I could be wrong. This is about money.
Also, always.
It's about money.
It's always about money.
But you know what? I do think it is about money. I definitely think it's about money. But like we were talking about on our sidebar, my biggest thing is that you see so many people, and I think this is a really, I do think it's about money, but I also really do think it's about discouraging people from using their phone. Because I mean, people are so addicted to their phones. Like I was saying earlier, as a bus driver, I would just look around my surroundings and the car right here, the car to the left, the car to the right, the car in front. As soon as they stop, the Instagram, Facebook, it's not even, oh, let me change you have your aux cord, like, let me change and you just click over and then you throw it back down. No, they're like all in it, and I get it, if you're using your GPS, but they do say that you can use your GPS as long as you have it on there's like a device that you put
stand or something.
Yeah, the stand.
I'm talking about people actually engrossed and the lights and change, and you look in front of them and cars have gone almost to the next light, and they still sit there because they are engrossed on their phone. And I'm scared for somebody that's texting while they drive. It's so much going on on each corner, on each intersection, on the expressway. People dashing in and out with no signals, going 90. How can you be texting?
And they don't just oh, like let me glance at it real quick. Okay, so and so. Okay, so and so. All right, so I'm gonna be. Okay, so the meeting hasn't started yet. It's never like that. They be all in their phone. They have it up. Like, what is wrong? Yeah, taking pics. What is wrong with?
Yeah.
I be like, let me move.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree. I think there are some safety concerns there. I definitely feel that because they even say, I was just pulling up the law. It says that drivers 18 and younger can't even use hands-free devices or Bluetooth. So that's gonna really mess up these teenagers.
And they're gonna do it anyway. So they're gonna do it. Now, trust and believe. It's a good law because it's probably gonna save a lot of lives. Because we don't know about. But an 18-year-old and you telling them that they can't be on their phone, period. Oh, they're gonna be on their phone.
They're gonna try.
They're gonna get their license suspended, and then they're gonna still keep driving. I'm just saying this is how America is.
Yeah.
So Billy, do you have anything coming up? Any events? Any classes? I need to come take photography. I mean, what's going on so that we can share with our listening audience?
So one of the things that I'm doing, I just partnered up with this network called Go Beyond, and they do lifestyle workshops. And so we have a workshop on August 31st dealing with time management. One of the things that I always tell people, is we make these New Year's resolutions, right? And then I always say, okay, well, when do you start assessing it? And most people say, oh, I assess it on December 31st. I'm like, no, you should assess it quarterly at least, And so this is our attempt at doing that, at that point. So that's going to be August 31st. I'll send you more information about that.
We'll post it.
And then, of course, I'm always teaching. So as far as photography or multimedia in general, I do independent workshops, but also, of course, we'll be teaching again in the fall. Looking forward to a summer program I'm going to be doing my second year working with the Love Institute. Basically, it's a group of high school students and they basically learn how to do video production. And so I'm going to be working with that group starting July 1st, ending August the 8th, I believe.
And where is that at?
That's on 47th and Cottage Grove in the city.
It's going to be during the week or on the weekend? It's
during the week, Monday through Thursday. It's part of an After School Matters program.
Oh.
And so we speak, basically myself and another instructor, we work with about, I think last year was about 12 students, and basically teach them all things video production. And then as a result of our teaching, they create PSAs, public service announcements. Yeah. So
how many hours a day would they be?
I believe it's 9 to 1, Monday through Thursday. Yeah. And then
send me the information.
Yeah, I'll forward that over to you as well. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing over the summer, and then just, spending time as much as I can at the house with the family, because I don't do that much seeing them all over the place. But got a little travel going on too right before school starts back. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well, it has been a blast. I have learned more about Mr. Montgomery today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing your story. I'm sure your story and the things that we talked about today on the platform will uplift and inspire someone. So again, thank you. Please don't be a stranger and come back, because this is not what he do. He's behind the scenes. But we got him in front of the scenes today.
Hey.
And so what piece of advice would you give to the listening audience before we conclude?
Basically, get started. A lot of times people say, well, I'm waiting on this, I'm waiting on that. The reality is there's no perfect time. Just get started.
Alicia, what piece of advice would you give us our listening audience?
I don't know. We just had so many good. I did have one last question for it's really quick.
Sure.
So you were saying that you love to read books and stuff like that. So what is your favorite movie that translated from a book to the big screen?
I would say probably the Orwell book. I think it was 1984. I may be getting confused with Animal Farm, but I know it was one of the Orwell books, because those books talked about futuristic things. I teach this one class real quick that's called New Media and Technology. And one of the things I always tell them is that none of the stuff that we're dealing with is new. Somebody back in 1962 created a cartoon, 2 cartoons. One was about the future and one was about the past. It was 2 brothers that did it. And one was about the Flintstones and the other one was about the Jetsons. And if you look at the Jetsons, go back and look at those cartoons. Almost everything that we have now, they were talking back in 1962. And so I'm a big believer that a lot of times people use cartoons and movies to test the public and see what kind of, reception. And if there's no pushback, they go ahead and push it through, So there's too many movies, to be quite honest, to name that I know started off as books and then made it to the big screen. But here's the funny part, what we were talking about earlier, as far as this whole ways of transmitting your story now. Everything you do literally can go into that platform now. You have a book, it can become a play. That play can become a movie. You don't have to necessarily go to Hollywood. You can go through Netflix. It's just so many different ways to tell your story now. And I think that's the most powerful thing about where we're at. It's an exciting and scary time, but I tend to lean more on the excitement part of it, because I see this as a plus for those of us who want to get our story out.
Wow. And Alicia, for you to say what you just said, talking about cartoons, those are my only 2 cartoons I watched besides Speed Racer growing up. I'm not a cartoon. Yeah. I didn't watch. I just don't like cartoons. But those 2, the Flintstones and the Jetsons and Speed Racer. Anything else, they be telling me about, I'm like, I don't know. They said, well, it was back in that time. I didn't watch cartoons. I was trying to make money.
I hear you.
But Alicia just talked about the same thing on the platform Tuesday, where she was using 2 cartoons, right?
Yeah.
And she was saying one of them had an outcome and one of them didn't.
Yeah, I was telling her that the cartoons represent our culture. So I was saying that Japanese culture, a lot of the characters tend to resolve a lot of their solutions. There's not, like, if there's a villain, they try to understand why the villain is the way he is. And they even try to be friends with some of the villain, like they're frenemies kind of thing that goes on throughout a lot of the Japanese animes. And I was saying in American cartoons, I was using the Fairly Odd Parents as an example. I said that it's the same thing happening over and over again every day. I'm like, and Vicky is just a villain. He doesn't try to understand why she is the way she is. She's just the villain, and he has to either avoid her or outsmart her every episode.
Wow.
So she got me finna look at Japanese cartoons this weekend to compare the 2 because I love that analogy. I never thought about it like that. And then here you just compared the Jetsons and the Flintstones. So
that's true.
Y'all got me watching cartoons this Saturday, but at least I'll be in the house relaxing. So I ain't tripping. But again, I want to thank you. Great questions as usual, Alicia. I want to share this with you all before we close. We learn 10% of what we read, 20% of what we hear, 30% of what we see, 50% of what we see and hear, 70% of what we discuss, 80% of what we experience, and wait for it, 95% of what we teach others. That's deep. Period. Wow. I like that. And so I'm going to try to see if I can figure out how to post this. When I saw this was like, wow, eye opener. Again, thank you, Billy Montgomery. Please don't be a stranger. Come back, send that information to us. We'll place it. Thank you for being here, Alicia, super producer. We have other shows coming up later on today, so please get plugged into IntellectualRadio.com. You can catch us locally, nationally, internationally. You can go to IntellectualRadio.com. And in closing, thank you, my listening audience, for tuning in. If you have a topic or something you would like to see discussed, or a roundtable, or you like to participate, please hit me or Alicia up, and we'll be more than happy to speak with you. In closing, build your own dreams, or someone else will hire you to build theirs, and that could be me, Billy Montgomery, or Alicia Hogsett. Thanks for tuning in. We're out. Peace out.
IntellectualRadio.com. Feed your brain.
Feed me now. I'm starving.